I'm not driving it until I've checked all that out because it's not happy. This car's a nightmare. We're back with the Audi. For those of you who've been waiting for this video, my apologies for it taking so long. It's just been literally problem after problem after problem with this car, plus I've been busy with work and whatnot, so I've got around to it though finally. It's just been one of them projects that it's one step forwards, 3 steps backwards constantly. Every time I think it's finished, something else is wrong, or like when I did the road test, it didn't exactly go well the first time I took it for a spin. Great car to drive, but such a problem. So in this video we're gonna get it finished, and if you can, it would help the channel an awful lot if you hit that like and subscribe button. I think it's gonna have to be worth it, just for the fact that this car's been on fire. It was bought crash damaged, it's been repaired really badly, it had problems with the engine, problems with absolutely everything. So hit that subscribe for actually sticking with this car, because it hasn't half been a headache. We've got quite a few goodies to throw at it in this video. I'm going to modify it slightly. I've done a few mods already to it. Obviously it's had a full paint in this car. We've done the wing mirrors gloss black and put the funky indicators in, but there's a few other little trick bits that are going to go on it in this video, so let's get to it. So down here we've got the Maxton design rear spoiler. It's just like a little lip spoiler, just to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit better. In gloss black, because I think it really pops against the white. Front splitter, again Maxton in gloss black. And this, the XTRONS Apple CarPlay system, which I'm really not looking forward to trying to fit, but we'll give it a go. I'm probably going to end up regretting this, but what can you do? So let's pick things up where we left off last time. Basically last time I rebuilt the entire car, tried to do it in 8 hours and wasn't actually that far off, but the one thing that I did know needed to be done was the front end needed all adjusting, because there were quite big gaps above the top of the bumper and the bonnet. So knowing this is how I ended up fixing it. Basically jacking up the slam panel, loosening it off, jacking it up slightly, and then bolting it back together back to the frame of the car. And this just basically made all the mounting points for the bumper a little bit higher, bringing the headlights up a little bit more to suit as well. Basically when you do this, if you get it right first time, it's pure luck. There's so many different ways to adjust it. So as you can see, I've actually got it pretty close there. There's still a little bit of a gap, but if you look at the edges of the bonnet, the bonnet actually needs to come down a touch, so I think once the bonnet's lowered, that's it, that's that gap sorted. So next up, before it even goes out, this car, it's getting a full service. That consists of oil filter, fuel filter, and it would be a new air filter, but because this has got a high performance air filter on it, that's not getting changed. I might just see if I can get a kit to clean it maybe, but typically these don't really need changing very often if they're an aftermarket one. While the spark plugs were being done, it became quite clear that they were all loose. So yet again, 10 points for whoever used to service this and look after it, because every bolt I touch is it's wrong, something's wrong. The king goes for brand new spark plugs, of course torque to spec, which I believe is £28 foot of torque on these, so that's what they're going to get, all of them torqued up properly, and then I know it's all good to go. And after this, the coil packs get put back in. 4 coil packs for 4 cylinders, wiring loom reconnected, and that's it, good to start. Now I don't know about you, but one thing that sets a car off for me, especially if you can see through the nice big alloy wheels, is the brake calipers themselves. I think just a quick coat of paint, something simple like this, can really transform the look of a car. But can you guess what colour we're going to go for? Now we're on to the Maxton parts. These lip spoilers, they are very nice looking, but essentially they're just a piece of folded plastic and a £140 bit of folded plastic. And as much as I like Maxton, they don't actually even stick the badges on straight, which is a bit of a disappointment, but I have to say I do like the look of these, so I'm not whinging too much really. And they're very easy to fit. I did search the internet for quite a long time to see what different spoilers you could get for the S3. I know you can get the S3 version, but it's not much different. When I saw this, I thought, yes, it's expensive, yes, it's simple, but I really do like the look of them, especially when you couple them with the front splitter that I've got to fit on this as well. But you're going to have to leave that to your imagination, because somebody forgot to press record when I was fitting it, but you'll get to see it at the end anyway, all finished on the car. As for the brakes, Porsche acid green, that's what we went for to match that stripe on the front bumper. I love this colour on brakes, and then some new decals on the pad keepers, if that's what you call them. These just clip onto the front of the caliper. Obviously we want them to say S3. Little touches like this I think go a long way. Now this is where things started to go downhill a bit. This is what's called a cam follower, and basically what it does is it rides on the engine's camshaft and compresses the fuel pump under the bonnet each time the engine rotates the cam. Basically this is a service part, but not every service, and the guy I bought the car off had told me that this had been done, but looking at these two, there's no way that's been changed recently, so this is another part that I'm going to go on. This is the fuel pump, and it goes in this hole. That's the cam down that hole. That activates the fuel pump, so that's gone in. It's like a £40 part, but it's one of those things. If you're going to start doing the service and you're worried about the engine not running 100%, then just change things like this for what it costs. It's a very simple job to do. So this got done. And this is the first time I'd been working on the car for about a week and a half, something like that. So once this all went back together, I thought, right, brilliant, that's it, now it's ready to go out and do a road test. And then this happened when I came to try and start it. Now this had me more than a bit confused. Why, just from doing this simple thing, it had stopped working? But as I say, I haven't actually worked on this car for probably almost 2 weeks, so anything could have happened. I tried the battery, things like that. It wasn't the battery. I thought it may have been a little bit too discharged, but no, it wasn't that. I was completely confused, so I checked everything, made sure that I'd re-plugged everything in, fuel lines were back on properly. Couldn't find anything wrong with it, it just would not start. It'd fire up and then turn straight off. I'm sure you can imagine I wasn't exactly impressed by this at all. I mean, hindsight's a beautiful thing, but if I'd have tried to start it before I did this, I'd have realised that there were already a problem there, and it wasn't the cam follower and things like that I'd fit. After scratching my head for about a week, I actually figured out what it was. It was the new key that I had cut for this car when I got it. For some reason, maybe because the battery were off, the car had forgotten it and the immobiliser had kicked in. So using the old key, it fired up straight away, really annoyingly. But then England happened and I had to shut the bonnet and leave it for nearly a week because it just rained and rained and rained. Right, I've scanned the codes and it's coming up with an engine fault. Well, I don't know whether it is or not. It's coming up with a P0011, which basically means the intake cam is too advanced, or something thinks it's too advanced, so it might be something to do with any variable valve timing that the engine has. Or it might, I know the previous owner did the timing chain on it, and looking at some of the other work that's been done on this car, I'm not going to trust it. So I've cleared the codes. I'm just going to take it round the block one more time, see if it comes straight back. If it does, then the first thing I'll be looking at is all the new timing belt and see if it's out of tooth, because that would would cause this problem, and that's pretty bad news if it is. So, but it's quite an easy fix, so we'll try it now, see what it does. Now it's telling me to turn the engine off and check the oil level, so right, I'm just going to take it back and have a look. I'm just going to have to explore, see what's going on here, because it's not happy. And I know there's enough oil in it, or there was enough oil in it, because I've just serviced the thing. So whether it's sprung a leak somewhere on that little journey out or something, I don't know, but I'm not driving it until I've checked all that out, because it's not happy. This car's a nightmare. As you can see, the bonnet's up yet again. It's testing me as this car big time. Every time I think I'm done with it, it's something else flags up. I've had it on the computer a few times, fix certain things, take it back out, something else carries on. So we're just getting through it a bit at a time. That's all you can do really with something like this. So the first thing to check and change is this. It's the VVT, or variable valve timing solenoid. Quite a simple fit. It's just 2 bolts and an electrical connector on top of it, just to the right hand side of the engine. It does something to do with changes the cam advances and things like that on the timing of the engine. So it's the cheapest and quickest thing to try first. I think it was 50 quid for this sensor, so we'll give that a go first. Finally it stopped raining, so straight away get the roof painted, because that was the last part of the car really. I'd kind of ignored it, so we got that painted. And then the next day I did a load of flatting work. Basically what I'm doing here is using a dual action sander, giving it a 1200 grit, wet and dry, obviously using it wet, then go over it with a 1500, then go over it with 2000, and then buffing compound and polish it, and this is the finish you end up with if you're willing to put in a bit of time with it. Now the fun begins. This is something I've been dying to fit, absolutely dreading fitting. There's as you can see, there's so many wires, and I have no instructions. I actually bought this kit second hand off someone, a lad who just put it in his Audi and had an accident, so he was selling parts off the car. Luckily, actually, it did me a bit of a favour because he didn't unplug everything. He left the loom in kind of plugged in a way that it made it quite easy to figure out. So basically, after scratching my head for a good 20 minutes staring at these wires, I just started plugging things into places that the plugs fit in the back of it, and then offered it up to the car. There's only actually one connector in the car, so it did make it quite easy, to be honest. There's no way it can be that simple, surely. Although it's powered up. And there we have it. Connected to my phone. Yeah, very good. Got full Apple CarPlay now. Now I think we're nearly there with this car. There's just one more light to deal with, and it's telling me there's a bulb out. When I tried to turn the lights on, it flashed up and said it's a number plate light that's out, so I'll have a quick look for that. There might be two, I'll have to see which one it is. But another thing I noticed, actually, this new head unit works with the lights in the car, which yeah, it's a good little piece of kit, this. I actually bought it second hand off a lad who just crashed his car. He'd not had it long, I think he'd just bought it, just fixed it in his S3, and then smashed his car up. So I made him an offer and got it straight away as soon as I saw them advertising it. I'm pretty glad I did, actually. Nice head unit. Really makes the interior feel a bit newer, a bit more up to date. So we'll get that light fixed, and then I think we're virtually done. Right then, let's try this again. We've got the variable valve solenoid thingy fixed. That's putting a brand new sensor or solenoid in it. Cam follower, that's been done as well, so it should run, well, I can tell already it seems to be running a lot smoother. So let's check it out again, see if it actually performs on the road or if it starts carrying on again. Fingers crossed. Let's do that again. So the only thing left to do is show you guys the finished car. Now, again, please hit that subscribe button and like button, because this has been an absolute pig of a job. But here's the end result.